Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. This week, all week, I'm in conversation with my friend Jamie Smart. He's the best-selling author of the book Clarity and the new book Results. Think less, achieve more. And we're talking all week about creating results. And today specifically, I asked Jamie about what he sees as the only two challenges that come between us and our ability to create results in the world. One of the things you talk about in the book is that there are only two challenges to creating results. So let's get to them. All right, if there's only two, okay, we're going to handle these in the next 10 minutes. What am I up against?
And I say this kind of it's funny when I say this in a training course or in a talk, it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but not really. When I write it in print, it looks a lot less tongue in cheek. So we'll see which version comes out right now. But all my clients arrive with the same two challenges. Number one, they're preoccupied with something. So they've got a thing or a couple of things or a bunch of things that they're preoccupied with. They've been thinking about them. They've been thinking about them a lot. And they've been thinking and thinking and thinking. And the more they've been thinking about them, the more it's not helping. So that's the first challenge, is they're preoccupied. Now, the second challenge they've got is they're underestimating what they've got going for them. So they're underestimating how capable they are, how resourceful and resilient and creative and wise and loving and connected. They're underestimating themselves. The very areas where they're underestimating themselves are the areas where they're preoccupied.
Now, I know from you just spending time with you over the years, and that you do what you're not saying. Believe in yourself. So what are you saying? Like what is that? What is that we have in us? Our superpowers, as you say, that we're underestimating.
Well, what we're underestimating is that we're born with a capacity for insight. For starters, a capacity for insight and realization. We're born with a capacity for resilience, for peace of mind, for mental clarity, for love and connection, for all these things. So they're kind of preloaded. They're in there. And they're available to us at the level of principle. They're available to us in any moment. Just like in the daytime, the sun is available to us at any moment. And the only thing that ever gets in the way of the sun is clouds. And the only thing that ever gets in the way of our innate capacities, of our wisdom, our resilience, our peace of mind, our clarity, is insecure thinking or contaminated thinking arising from the outside in misunderstanding. So the reason we get preoccupied is because the moment we believe our feelings are coming from somewhere other than thought in the moment, then it genuinely seems to us like we're victims of or at the mercy of a big world out there separate from me, out there in the future, or out there in the past, or out there in other people, or out there in my job or my boss or my bank account, or out there in my physical body, or out there in what I'm like as a person, or out there outside of the moment. It genuinely seems, when we believe our feelings are coming from somewhere other than thought in the moment, instantly it seems like we're separate from life. The moment we believe our feelings are being caused by something out there with power over us, it becomes incredibly urgent and important to get control over whatever it is. Like the client I was telling you about earlier, they were thinking about this future meeting they had to go to in a few days, and it was totally freaking them out. They were trying to get control over it, but they couldn't because it was in a few days. And the issue wasn't that they had uncomfortable thinking resulting in an uncomfortable feeling. That's not an issue. The issue was they thought it was coming from the future. That turned it from, we all have, in the course of a given day, we probably have, I don't know, I'll make it up, 751 different bouts of uncomfortable thinking that result in uncomfortable feeling. most of them come and go without me even noticing it, I'm guessing, or it hardly raises an eyebrow. But once in a while I go, oh, that's coming from my job, or that's coming from my childhood, or that's coming from my future, or that's coming from that guy or her or whatever. And the moment, or that's coming from my belly, or the moment I do that, I'm pretending I live in a world where my feelings are coming from somewhere other than thought in the moment. And to imagine that we're in that world, to make sense of that idea, we have to posit a world where we're at the mercy of something out there in space and time. And that's scary. That's scary.
Well, and so many of the results that people come wanting to create are things that they will think will make the outside world different so they don't have to feel those things.
Exactly. So the reason people get preoccupied is because those are the places in their life where it seems to them like their feelings are coming from somewhere other than thought in the moment. And the reason they overlook what they've got going for them is because they're too busy being preoccupied, believing they're a victim of a world out there. And I say I'm that guy on a daily basis. At one point or another, I'll be like, oh, and it genuinely seems to me like my feelings are coming from somewhere other than thought in the moment. And when I do that, I'm in La La Land, just like everyone else. I'm in Narnia, and we're not built for Narnia. We're not built for La La Land. We're not built for a world that works outside in. We're built for reality. We're built for a world where we're living in the feeling of thought in the moment. And the moment we see that, we're brought back to reality. Not that we ever left, but we thought we did, and we got all bothered temporarily.
Something I didn't say during our conversation, but I find to be very true is those are the exact things that I see with my clients, that what they're up against, what they run into again and again and again is they get lost in the illusion of thought. They get confused about where their experience comes from, or they don't recognize their deeper power, their deeper capacity, their deeper mind. In my newest book, The Space Within, I talk about it as, do they know where their experience comes from? And do they know that they're God? And when those two things are present, people do really well. And if they struggle with those, then they struggle with most things that they're up to in the world. We're going to finish this tomorrow with what for me is one of the most important benefits of this understanding, which is really seeing how you can handle the inherent complexity and uncertainty and volatility and ambiguity of the world that we live in today. Until then, have fun, learn heaps. Be sure to check out Jamie's book at jamiesmart.com, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.